Big hearing 1 hour this morning on the Hill. We're awaiting testimony. Former Homeland Security Secretary Jeh Johnson appears in front of the House Intelligence Committee. Remember, that committee continues its own investigation into what happened between Russia and the Trump campaign, if anything. Trey Gowdy's on that hearing. He's on that committee. He's with me now. And, sir, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I want to cut through all of this for our viewers so that we can understand this together. Where are we and where are we going? Take the first question. Where are we today?
This is the simplest way to understand it. All things criminal or quasi-criminal, that is the special counsel. That is Bob Mueller. That is not Congress. So if it's not criminal or quasi-criminal, the House has a role to play. And we've been asked to answer 4 questions. What did the Russians do in 2016? With whom, if anyone, did they do it? What was the U.S. government's response during the pendency of those attacks in 2016? And then there's the issue of the leaks and the unmasking. Jeh Johnson addresses 3 of those 4 congressional tranches, and most importantly, because he was part of the intelligence community and the head of DHS in 2016, when did we know what Russia was doing and what was our response? Because clearly it was before the November election.
So if he's responsible for 3 of the 4, what's the 4th thing that he's not responsible for? What will you not hear about today?
I'd be shocked if we ask any questions of Jeh Johnson with respect to leaks. There may be. I don't pretend to know what others will ask, but I've never heard his name connected with any leaks, and I'd be surprised if that question was asked.
Okay, let me go through a series of questions. What happened when Bob Mueller met with members of the committee yesterday?
Again, that is an effort to keep our lanes completely clear. And, Bill, as you know, I used to be in that lane. I want to stay so far away from what Bob Mueller is doing. I don't want to interview the same witnesses. I don't want to get involved in immunity discussions. He has a critically important role to play, and I want to get the heck out of his way. That was my purpose in meeting with him.
All right. Do you want to share with us the content or any of the context of that conversation?
Only this. I have a lot of respect for him. I knew him when he was the FBI director. He has a really, really hard job in a hyper-political environment running a serious investigation. But if anyone can do that, I think it would be Bob Mueller.
Do you have evidence of collusion today?
No, I have seen no evidence of collusion.
Okay.
But
Adam Schiff, a Democrat, said he thinks there is evidence of collusion.
Oh, he said a lot more than that,
What
Bill.
does he know that you don't know?
Nothing. He said a lot more than that. He said that he's seen evidence that's more than circumstantial but not direct. He said he's seen evidence, but he can't tell us what it is. He's seen evidence that doesn't rise to the level of beyond a reasonable doubt. One reason that Bob Mueller's investigation, I think, ultimately will be respected, and congressional investigations in the past have not been, is we have a tendency to politicize almost everything. We are 10% into the witnesses that we're going to interview, and yet there are members of Congress who are prejudging the outcome, who are relying on this, I've seen evidence, but I can't tell you what it is. Nothing undercuts the confidence of your viewers, quite like someone saying, I know more than you do, it's really bad, and I'm not going to tell you what it is.
All right, here's another allegation, obstruction of justice. You're a prosecutor. Based on what you know, does that stand up today?
I have no way of knowing. I have not interviewed a single solitary witness. There are 2 really important witnesses in that tranche. One is Jim Comey and one is President Trump. And I am sure that Bob Mueller is going to interview everyone on the periphery that can help answer that question.
So you're leaving the door open on that. You have not closed that. There was not a yes or no answer.
I never close doors until the last witness has been interviewed. I think it is reckless and irresponsible to do so. I have no idea what the last witness is going to say. So why would I prejudge the outcome of an investigation until it's over?
Jeh Johnson is going to say the following, in part, 45 minutes from now on screen. In 2016, the Russian government, at the direction of Russian President Vladimir Putin himself, orchestrated cyber attacks on our nation for the purpose of influencing our election, plain and simple. He will also state there is no evidence that votes were changed, and that is a critical point in all of this. I think sometimes, arguably, it gets lost. But this is the key. Russia tried to hack and influence, but we don't know how far they achieved their ends. Is that our understanding as of today?
Yeah, that's a really good summary, and I think you put your finger on the seminal part of Jeh Johnson's testimony, which is there is no evidence that voter tallies or voter totals were changed. There's frankly no evidence that the Russians were successful in their efforts to infiltrate the voter infrastructure. The third point I would say is, okay, if we knew this was going on during the election, what did we do about it? All of what we're doing now, Bill, is retrospective. If we knew the Russians had done it in the past and we knew they were doing it in 2016, what was the U.S. government's response in the summer and fall of 2016? That's a very interesting point, because Jay Johnson had authority then. So clearly you have to ask him that and figure that out. Yes, he did. Yes, sir.
Labor Day, you said last night, you hope to have this wrapped up. Is that realistic? Because by Washington terms, that's flying.
It is flying. We are picking up the pace. There are a number of witness interviews that have already been scheduled. Quite frankly, in all candor, Bill, we were a little slow out of the gates, but I think we have that corrected. The most important thing is to agree on the witness list, and then you can start structuring the order of the witnesses. Tom Rooney and I are doing the questioning on the Republican side. We are willing to come up early. We're willing to stay late. We're willing to work weeks that we're not in session. I think we owe it to the American people to do this as well, as efficiently as we can.
I opened this interview by asking two questions. Where are we and where are we going? Answer the second question now. Where is this headed?
On the House side, I hope it's going towards a report that your viewers can have confidence in, answering those 4 questions that we were asked to answer.
Criminal or not, sir?
I have no idea. That's Bob Mueller. That's my old job. I'm not qualified to speak to that.
Understood. Trey Gowdy, thank you for your candor.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you in 45 minutes inside that hearing room. Thank you. Shannon.